So when you go listen to Once Upon a Time, man, there's a lot of history on there. Freeway Rick narrated it. He know me. He's seen my whole come up. Yeah, and I'm a big movie guy. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Once Upon a Time in America,
Of
but
course.
you know what I'm saying? That's where the aesthetic comes from. Yeah.
Having him narrate, obviously, you say you guys had business together. For people who don't know, give me the history of you and Freeway Rick's relationship.
It's real crazy, man. At the time, I was living at Big Face House.
Games brother.
Yeah. On Brazil and Wilmington, the old Black Wall Street. And, I was trying to transition from street life into just being more legit. And I had got the idea after watching the movie Good Hair by Chris Rock to start selling hair, to start like importing weaves and selling Indian hair, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm Indian.
Yeah.
And Rick also was doing the same thing. And he had heard about my name, and I was doing it like on some baby boy shit.
Right.
Like pulling up to the beauty supply spots and being like, popping the trunk like, hey, no, don't go in there. Come shop with me. So anyways, me and Rick.
Oh, y'all was doing that?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you guys could go in there, or, or I got it for the low in the trunk.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So me and Rick, we met up on, I'm like, yeah, I'm in Compton. And he like, oh, well, I'm in Carson. I said, well, let's meet up right there where on the 91 freeway down Central, right where like the borderline of Carson and Compton are at. And I'm thinking at the time, Rick gonna pull up like, it's Freeway Rick. It's the kingpin. I'm thinking he gonna pull up in a Bentley or Rolls Royce or whatever. I had no idea. And he just pulls up in this bucket, you know what I'm saying? A little Hyundai. And at the time, this is another crazy story. I had Tory Lanez with me, and I brought Tory Lanez for his first time to Compton, and he just rolling around with me. And he want to get back home. He living at Sean Kingston house at the time. I remember this
Checks
is when
out.
he was when he was songwriting or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had him tipping with me through the hood. So I'm like, we're gonna go meet Freeway Rick. Freeway Rick is like, yeah, man. So we chopping it up, and he's like, man, I gotta do a podcast. This is like early on too. Like I don't even think like many podcasts were really even out. And he's like, let's go. He's like, man, let me put some gas in your car and let's go to Moreno Valley and let's go do this podcast. I'm like, all right, for sure. Tory from Toronto, he don't know where we going or whatever.
Right.
This is a mission.
Moreno Valley is a real mission.
Hour and a half, 2 hour drive. He mad as a motherfucker, man.
Because now he's just stuck.
He just stuck, and then we got to go do a podcast. I'll never forget that, though, man. Me and Tori still joke about that. But that's when that relationship formed, and then, Rick seen where I was living and, knew that I was hungry and trying to get about from my situation and just, elevate. And me and him would link up every day with our hair, or we would go to Fairfax and we would get a bunch of free clothes, and then we would come back to the hood and sell them. So, me and Rick, we started together, man, like for real.
And it all started with hair.
It all started with hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's something about the hair industry that most people don't know?
I don't know. I haven't been in it for so long. So
like, let's say, what would you flip a weave for? Like, what would it cost, and what would you be able to sell it for?
A bundle was like going for like $150 or something like
that. That's what it would go for on the street.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, it was.
But
like
what would you
4
pay
ounces
for it?
of hair or something like that, and you would have to have like the Remy or like the real like Remy Virgin, I think it was called, or like, yeah, they would come in bundles though, and you could buy them in like keys. So it's funny that I was like dealing with Rick, and we buying like
kilos of hair.
Kilos of hair. Yeah.
So what's a kilo of hair cost back then?
I can't even remember. Like I remember the bundles were like $150 or something like that. But the money was good. I made good money in it, and then it just got oversaturated. And then music took over, and my passion wasn't obviously selling hair, so. And then with Rick too, Rick's a hustler. He just like Rick was selling T-shirts, hair, doing appearances, books. We was just moving all the time together. And then it got so busy for him and so busy for me. When you listen to the intro, you know what I mean? He says something that touched me. He was like, he says, so often me and Jay had kind of parted ways, but not on bad terms, but when we run into each other, we would see each other in different cities, and we embrace each other like lost brothers, because it was like, damn, like here you are, he might have an artist, or he might be dealing with a boxer, and here I am in a different city, and I'm doing a show or whatever, and yeah, but that's my brother, man. We still talk every day, and shout outs to Freeway Rick. You know what I'm saying?
You have so much music with so many producers. Who would you say you got the best chemistry with?
I'd probably say Sean House, because, you know, London Drugs. Yeah, man. We started together. We kind of made a sound together. And then, you know, yeah, that's why he's on 9. He's on 9 of the joints on Once Upon a Time. So that speaks for itself.
When did you decide there's too much music, I got to do a double disc?
Well, I just wanted to be able to there was just too many different songs that I liked. And I was like, I was just going to put it all on one disc, but I'm like, who am I? I'm not, you know, a lot of big artists put out a double disc, you know what I mean? So I was just, you know, the way people consume music these days is be a lot to give them 31 records at a time. So I did disc 1, and then 2 weeks apart I did disc 2. But when you listen to it, like I said, if you ever seen the movie Once Upon a Time in America, it's like a 4.5 hour long movie. There's an intermission on disc 2. That's when the intermission starts. But I sequenced the album from act 1 to act 2. It's how you're supposed to listen to it. So if you fuck with Jay Worthy and you like the album, go make a playlist and let that shit run through. You know what I mean?
Was it on purpose that most of the features were on the second disc?
Nah,
did it just work out that way?
Is there more features on the second disc? Because I feel like the first disc has I think it's equally. I mean, the first disc I have what?
I see you got Quick. Well, you know, I'm just looking because I was looking at the playlist on Spotify, and the only featured artists on the first disc are Quick and Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh, but those are the features. But because everyone else is primary, I got West Side Gun.
Okay,
Dave
that's
East,
where I fucked up. Yeah.
Absol, Boldy James, Larry June.
Jesus Christ. Just the list of artists is
Wiz
insane.
Khalifa, E40, Jim Jones. Yeah.
Fucking Thundercat,
George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, Ice-T.
Jeezy.
Mac 10.
Spitta, Rock Marciano.
And shout outs to Wacko. You know, like you know me, I'm an A&R myself. So I you know, I A&R my whole album, but Wacko stepped in and he introduced me to Mac 10, which me and Mac became friends, and that's my brother now. So that's who connected that dot. He also connected the dot with Wiz for me, and he connected my favorite record on disc 2, Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? And that record right there, it sounds like you know, it sounds like 6 in the morning to me. So I called it Bix in the morning and put T on that, and I love that verse. You know, I don't think when do you see Ice-T name pop up on a feature list?
I mean, fuck.
Even Mac 10. I mean,
that's the one, because Ice-T will step out every once in a while. I feel like Mac 10 is very like
Mac don't get
yeah.
He don't come out for anybody. So, you know, Wacko put me with Mac, and then Mac took a liking to me, and, you know, we formed our own relationship, and we've been locked in ever since. But those are the things that like make me happy. Having Spice One is like in my top 5. So to have
I was gonna ask you about that, because Spice One is somebody who is so underappreciated when we think of like hip hop in general. Some of the like hardest West Coast albums ever, and some of the hardest album covers of all time.
Ever. You know what I'm saying?